Hi guys, my name is Chris Post and this is my projectile motion project for Engineering 267 with Mateo Aboy at Oregon Institute of Technology. If you want to read a little bit more about this project, please pause the video now. Alright, so we were told to create a function that outputs a projectile's range, time of flight, range at maximum height, and maximum height. Alright, so we type in help projectile. This is the name of the function. This is what we get here with the description of our function. Now, if we run this function, it asks for our initial position. We'll make that 0. Our initial velocity, we'll call that 100. And our initial angle at 45 degrees. Now, as you can see, it outputs our range, our flight time, range of maximum height, and the maximum height, and also plots all that data with a little red square at the maximum height to signify the maximum height. I also created a guided user interface, or GUI, for this project. And we can run that now. Alright, so it's pretty simple setup here. We have our initial conditions over here on the right, and our outputs down at the bottom, as well as our graph. So here we can launch our projectile. We have the same initial conditions as the first example, so we see a very similar graph. The GUI lets us easily change these initial conditions to compare different positions, velocities, and angles. So if we launch this projectile at an angle of 30 degrees, we end up with a much smaller maximum height, range, and flight time. And we can also compare that with an angle at 60 degrees. Here we see that we have a much higher maximum height as well as flight time, but it ends up landing exactly at the same spot as our 30-degree angle. We can also make our angle more than 90 degrees. And what we see here is actually going in the negative x direction, or to the left of our projectile's initial position. And then this is great because we can compare all these different graphs and values really quickly. Alright guys, thank you very much. That was my projectile motion project, and thanks for watching.